Limits. We have a problem, limit x approaches 5, x minus 5 over x to the 3 minus 125. If you replace x by 5 in the numerator and denominator, your answer will be 0 over 0. That means graph has a tiny hole and we can reach close to it. We may apply this form, x to the 3 minus a to the 3. So 125 can be written as 5 to the 3. So your a is 5, you write x minus a, then x square, a square, and ax. So you get this. Now x minus 5 will cancel out. And after this simplification, you can replace your x by 5. So you get 5 square is 25, 5 square is 25, 5 times 5 is 25. Final answer is 1 over 75. Next example. I want to do some algebraic work. First you factor out x, then simplify this one. X now you can cancel. So you get, when you replace x by 0, you get negative 1 over 7. Now you may try this one the same way and verify that at the end your answer will be negative 1 over 25. Absolute value function. So the definition of absolute value function you may write as square root of x squared or absolute value of x. It is defined as follows. You can say x when x is greater or equal to 0. And then negative x when x is less than 0. So what happens to the graph, this one we have taken on the whole domain, but we need to restrict it to x greater or equal to 0. So then we can remove that part. So this is basically the graph of absolute value function. Now we take one problem so that x approaches negative infinity and you have square root of 625x squared plus x minus 25x. Let us have the diagnosis. We have x approaches negative infinity. So by definition, you see you have inside this one. So by that definition, this answer will be negative 25. And we have another negative 25 here. So altogether it is negative 50x. The limit is infinity, it's approaching to infinity. And the graph look like this. So the left side if you take, and here x approaches negative infinity, so it goes all the way up infinity. We have another similar example, but in this case we have a negative sign here. And x approaches to infinity. If we do the diagnosis, so it look like, now by the definition of absolute value function, this one gives me positive 25x. So negative 25x and positive negative, you cannot cancel because x approaches infinity. So this is like infinity minus infinity form. Now we need to do some algebraic work. So multiply with the conjugate in the numerator and denominator. And then you know the formula, a minus b times a plus b will give me a square b square like this. So then in the top, now we get this square minus this square. So radical will be cancelled on this term. After simplification, we get x over these. Now remember, x approaches positive infinity. So this one will give me positive 25x. Then you are getting actually x over 50x. Now you can cancel xx and you get 1 over 50 is your limit. You may be confused here. See that we have 625x squared plus x, but in these I drop this x. The reason is very simple. When x approaches infinity, this term is very small compared to that one. So then we can ignore that term and take this one only. So this is exactly the idea you have learned in algebra when dealing with horizontal asymptotes. So this is exactly the reason. I hope it makes sense to you.